Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andy O'Brien, and I am the master coach here at Action Coach Wilco. We are a business coaching firm focused on guiding business owners to have the freedom to grow their business, spend time with loved ones, and build a solid team. My guest today is Matthew Trub. Is that correct?
True.
True. Thank you. And thank you again for joining us. Let's just jump right in and get started with, tell us about you, your business, and how did you get mixed up in this type of business?
Well, my dad was in radio and television as a broadcaster for most of his life. And it was just, I don't know, I just felt like it was natural for me to follow in his footsteps. So he and I owned a couple of radio stations together and I worked in broadcasting for about 12 years. And after he passed, I just moved on to doing production work and video production work and consulting in marketing and so forth.
That is wonderful. That is great. I love to hear that family, business and working with your father. I grew up in a family owned and operated moving business, so I understand how much fun that can be and how stressful it can also be.
It can be. My son also works with me and my wife. So my wife is actually the owner of Matthew and Company. And we have another company, HDaerial. We do aerial filming from helicopter platforms. You'll see those large balls or gyro stabilized balls on the nose of the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been doing that for about 20 years. And with the advent of drones, we needed to move in. We needed to move into that platform. So we fly both manned helicopters and then drones.
Well, that is excellent. So tell us the specific name of that company again. I must have missed it.
HDaerial, AERIAL.
That is excellent. All right. Well, that brings a whole new dimension to this interview. So thank you for bringing that up. Tell us, who would you say is your best customer? I use the term target market, but who would you say is an ideal match for your business?
Prior to January of last year, the range was from feature films. We were doing, I guess we had 3 feature films lined up where we're doing primarily aerial work for them, both manned helicopter and drone work. And so I guess that was a good part of our business. The other is, high-end corporate, ExxonMobil, AT&T, Rolls-Royce, that level. Then we moved to more of a regional-based customers, which would be some of your automobile dealers and real estate companies and so forth. But a lot of, what was interesting, I would say on our ground-based production, which is Matthew and Company, I would say about 40%, 45% was just pure interviews, corporate interviews, like with Exxon, AT&T, and those folks. Mm-hmm. And with COVID, with the hit of COVID in January, February, that just came to a halt. No one wanted production companies to interview their tier 1, tier 2 employees for fear of the coronavirus. Right. So that business pretty much came to a halt. Some of the feature work continued for a while until some of the sets someone would pick up coronavirus and they'd shut the whole film down. Okay. A little bit of local business worked through. They hung on for a while, but then that pretty well disappeared. And I think by March we were completely booked. We had just gotten back from Israel. We were hired to go over there and do a film. We came back in late January and had a feature film to shoot, and that was canceled. And I would say by mid-March, everything just came to a halt. Right. We're in our industry, marketing and advertising is pretty much that's the first area they cut. If the economy goes, south, the bookkeepers look at it and they go, well, where can we cut? Well, let's cut marketing, And
Right.
so they
Greatest errors in business right
yeah,
there.
and we're in many ways we're the last to get on board again. So when things start picking up again, then they finally bringing in the marketing team. Well, what was interesting with the interviews is with the advent of Zoom and what we're doing today, everybody moved to the Zoom inter-office communiques and communications, and so we're a little concerned that even when it does come back, the Zoom will pretty much knock that part of our business maybe in half. So we've looked to doing some other projects and primarily projects that uh, we're developing our own content at this time rather than relying on the corporate world or relying on the our normal customer base. We're starting to develop our own content, and with people staying home more and not going out, not going to the movies, the everyone from all of the television stations and news channels and Netflix, and they're looking for material. They're looking for content. So that's what we're working on now.
That's excellent. So you talked about the biggest impact COVID had on your business being it just pretty much dried up. So and you also talked about how you've changed kind of focus, developing content and so forth. Was there anything else that you had to do to transition your business last year, or in the last year, I should say?
We tried. We have remote systems like it's a gyro stabilized camera system, a Movi Pro, and we can put that on a jib arm and place that into a room and actually operate that remotely and not come close to the client. And we tried that for a while. Some of them were receptive to it, and many were not. And as you know, it's very difficult to talk to someone and say, or a corporation, a large corporation, and say, you guys need to promote yourselves more. We need to do more interviews. It's just you're going nowhere with it. And the people, they either want to promote, they want to communicate, or they don't. And with the fear of COVID, and it's definitely a fear.
Right.
It's amazing how it has it just embedded the psyche of not only our customers but just the general public, in that they even with shots and with the vaccines and so forth, there's still a great deal of confusion as to what it can and cannot do, and thus the fear of a lot of people getting back to work and doing any type of production work.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's interesting you said that about marketing, because a year ago we were on the front edge of telling all of our customers, don't stop marketing. Marketing is the how are people going to know you're still here, and how are people going to know that you're still around? And so I'd love to hear others say the same thing, because it's so critical right now with these corporations and these businesses. Those that are marketing are starting to see a turnaround faster than those that are frozen and waiting for the perfect time to launch. So love what you're doing there. So with all that being said, what are your goals for 2021?
Staying alive, for one. It
Duly noted.
yeah. We were fortunate enough to have saved a nest egg and have some money to work with on this last year. Of course, if this continues on for another 2 or 3 years, that very few people are going to be able to hold on, and very few small independent companies are going to be able to hold on. But our goal, once again, is just bringing everything in-house, developing our own content. There is a need for content out there. They are looking for programming. They're looking for, because eventually these programs run out, and after you've seen them once, you normally won't go back and watch them again. So they're going to burn through the content. And there's several features and several documentaries that have started back up. Worked through the COVID issue, separating cast members from the crew, testing. all of that really adds to the expense of your production.
Right.
If one member gets sick, then you might end up shutting the entire program down, and then you run into a legal situation of having to pay for everyone's expenses. Uh, you know, Insurance companies aren't willing to cover a lot of our production sometimes, because
Mm.
if we start a production up and it's running and we don't have insurance, we get shut down. That could be disastrous for someone.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's not. Everybody talks about the restaurant industry and the fast food, and how they have done, and what they need, but no one has really addressed the entertainment industry, and everything from theaters to production companies to movie companies to it's it has been pretty devastating for a lot of these people.
Oh,
And a
absolutely.
lot of them can't find work in other areas because their expertise lies in production and not in uh, real estate or some other industry.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. I think we're going to be seeing, as you just said, there's a lot of other industries that haven't been mentioned that are now coming to the forefront with, well, what about us? Because again, forgotten, right? All these things were shut down and nowhere for anybody to go. So tell me, looking at your goals, what do you think will be the biggest challenge in you achieving your goals in 2021?
In producing our in-house production work, I would say many times it's convincing the crew members to come on board. We'll try to hire someone, and they're fearful. And it's a younger age. A lot of those people are in the 30 to 35 age range, maybe a little
Right.
younger, and they're fearful to come on set. And if certain protocols aren't taken, distancing, masks, of course, testing, and if you've got to test everybody every day, that gets quite expensive for a production. So a lot of crew members won't come on board because of that. So, overcoming that fear, bringing the right crews on, and I other than that, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, in in ramping up production. We have sent out several communications, phone calls with clients that I know, or emails with clients that I know, letting them know that, hey, we're in Texas. We also have an office in Virginia,
Oh,
and
wow.
Virginia is a little more restrictive than Texas, and the production level is not quite as high as it is in Texas. But we let a lot of our clients know that, hey, we're up and running. Texas is up and running. I mean, we've had several things that have opened for us via the governor, and that's
Mhm.
helped a bit under some criticism, but that has helped. And so we're getting, some of them are responding back with, let's see how it goes in the next month or so, and we'll look at maybe doing some more production. So I think just communicating with your clients, following the CDC guidelines as best as you can, assuring your crew and your talent that everyone will be safe. Uh, I think it's about all we can do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Well, it has been said that smart people learn from their mistakes. However, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. What mistakes have you made along the way in your business, and how can others learn from them? And remember, any mistake that we've made is not I can see it from space mistake like we had over the last couple of weeks with the Suez Canal. So,
Right, right. I think maybe not preparing for the future. We uh, prior to January of last year, uh, things were good. The last 2, 3, 4 years were good,
right.
and I think you get a little complacent, and you sort of felt something. It was going too well, and I think you become a little complacent with your uh, I think with your management and maybe your budgeting,
Mhm.
putting aside money for like this, what we're going through right now, and just not maybe preparing for the future, I think was one of our biggest mistakes. Um, but I believe that with what we've done, I mean, with in our aerial business, we've brought in more drones, because had we relied on manned helicopters, that business probably dropped maybe 50% from what it was. And had we not brought in the drones, then we would have probably ended up folding that company. It just wouldn't have been worth operating. So, and on the ground based, and until the economy ticks up a little bit, it's just not a whole lot we can do. But I think, working our remote systems, using the remote cameras helped some. And like I said, maybe relying on technology a little more,
Right.
and that helps. Possibly bringing in a company like yours to look at our business from the outside and saying, well, here's where you're weak, here's where you're strong, this is what you can do. You get so embedded in your own company sometimes, and so busy with your own work, that it's hard to see into the forest and really where you are and what you need to be doing. So
Yeah.
maybe some changes like that would be in order. I think for a lot of people, they've run through their budgets, they've run through the money that they have saved to operate with, and I think this next year is going to be critical for a lot of small businesses.
Excellent.
Nationwide or worldwide, actually.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely worldwide. We have 1,000 offices in 82 countries, and we're hearing the same thing. So we're not exclusive in this challenge going across the world here. So tell me this, for viewers who would like to learn more about your business, how can they get in contact or find you?
For Matthew and Company, it's just Matthew, Matthew, and then A&D, and then company spelled out .com. That's our ground-based production. Like I said, we do everything from feature films to corporate work, documentaries, television commercials. American Heart Association, we produced, I think, over 200 cooking videos for American Heart. And so, it varies. HDaerial is our aerial platforms, is pretty simple, www.hdaerial.com.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, wonderful. Thank you again, Matthew, for taking the time today to chat with us. Again, if you're all watching this, my name is Coach Andy O'Brien with Action Coach Wilco. And again, we guide business owners to have the freedom in growing their business every day. If you would like to share your story, or visit our website at actioncoachwilco.com for more information to connect with the team. So that's all for today. Enjoy the rest of the week, and happy Easter, and bye for now.
Happy Easter to you, Andy. Thank you.